Hey guys, I'm Adrian and that's Winnie. We are kind of the entire team of Gluck's Gym except for our cameraman who doesn't really do much. And we're here with Kayvon, the owner of Bells of Steel. We're going to do a bit of an interview style video today where we're going to ask him some easy questions. For example, Kayvon, why did you misspell the name of your own company?
Just a failure of the Canadian public school system, I guess.
And maybe some harder ones. So for an example, one of the strengths I think you have as Bells of Steel is you make some economical versions of some honestly really expensive equipment. A good example of that would be the Arch Nemesis bar, and there's probably some inspiration maybe from the Cadillac bar. So as a owner, how do you take a piece of equipment that's that expensive and basically, how do you make a more economical version of something that's so pricey without, irritating the creators or the community, since there's a little inspiration there? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, certainly something I've heard before. I think as far as irritating people and creators, I guess I'm a free market capitalist, and I think competition is good for everybody. It's good for the consumer. So, if you're really passionate about your product, enforce your IP and get a patent on it. And then as far as like economizing stuff, I guess that just comes from ideas I have in my head and knowing the capabilities that I have with my factories partners, and we kind of work together to come up with solutions.
And I will say, not to name other companies, but there are other companies where it's kind of a blatant plagiarism. But with an Arch Nemesis bar, they're pretty different. So I don't see in the community, at least me personally, that people think of that as like a ripoff. I think of them as two different products.
Yeah, I mean, I want to bring these, bring more stuff to the masses. I mean, there's not a lot of people out there who can afford $800 on a single bar, and maybe that's not that fair to exclude them. So I guess
that's 800 Canadian dollars. That's like $25 American.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then we're standing on this deadlift platform that we actually had the opportunity to try out in a deadlift seminar yesterday. What made you get into, making platforms?
Yeah, so there was a few pushes I had during COVID when we were having a lot of supplier issues to try and diversify our manufacturers and even bring some stuff in-house. And so that's where the idea kind of came from. And then, we get a lot of people asking about them, and we're also trying to push more into commercial sales, like facilities and schools and universities and all that. And that is often a big request of theirs. And this is the Gen 2 of it, and over here's the Gen 1.
Next to the Buzzsaw bench?
Yeah.
So why don't we actually just move this over here? And we're in a warehouse and your actual gym for your employees. So if it's a little crazy over here, that's probably why. But let's get over to that thing.
Sure.
Being an incompetent YouTuber, I kind of forgot to explain the entire point of this video. I hope somebody can hear this guy screaming in the warehouse here. The entire point of this video is that we're kind of talking about the future of this company, and we have Kayvon here who's going to tell us about things that don't even exist, people haven't seen, that are in his head or coming down the pipe. So can you talk about the future of the company a little bit?
Yeah, I think these 4 benches are a great example of a couple of our initiatives, which is going a bit, having some higher end choices and some more economy choices, whereas right now we're mostly focused just in the middle. And then the other part of the company direction is that we're trying to get into more abstract products that are, developed from the ground up, from scratch, and engineered in-house. More of like Hail Mary stuff, as well as more commodity products that you kind of get anywhere, but people like to buy from us because there's that trust and they know we have good customer service and shipping experience and all that.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really listening to the community and they want to know these actual examples. So you talked about the commodity items. What's an example of that you have coming that people might be really excited about?
The first thing that comes to mind is probably the deep dish plates that are coming out soon. I just have one at my house. So
it would have been nice if you brought that too.
Yeah, I should have. But I walked here, so that would have been a little heavy.
You didn't take a moose?
And our entire plate line has kind of expanded over the last few months as well. And then more abstract stuff. Some of the interesting attachments that we have planned for the rocket or for the Hydra, like the rocket attachment, and some of the designs we've done with the lever arms, things like that. Some other things in the pipe. Got some cardio products coming through that I'm pretty excited about. I've been
Yeah, I'm
working
real
on it for a
excited
long
about
time.
cardio too.
I think it'll make it fun.
Yeah, sure. Actually, when you mentioned the Hydra rack, he's got another rack we're going to talk about later in the video. It's super exciting. That's even top of the line, you know, competing with others. But let's move on and get to some of these other crazy things you got coming, and maybe we'll get to that later.
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
So I just talked about looking at new stuff, but this is collecting dust in my gym. So why are we looking at it again?
Well, as you mentioned earlier about inspiration and my passion for free market, I got a cold email a few weeks ago from a factory in China offering to sell me their newly designed belt squat machine, and it was pictures of my belt squat machine.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. And so that keeps me innovating too, trying to keep ahead of competition.
So are you making changes here, or are we just like, what's
Yeah.
actually going on?
Yeah, well, we've seen some
Whoa,
pretty...
whoa, whoa. Make sure it's fast because these meatheads don't like squatting.
Nor do I. Fair point.
Yeah, we've seen some cool inspiration in the community. A guy named Johnny Shreve, YouTube guy, rigged this up to do hip thrusts on it. And
Oh.
so we've been trying to figure out a great way to integrate a hip thrust function into this, as well as a few other key features people wanted to see, like a spotter system and changing the handles a little bit.
That's smart. Which I think brings us to this, because don't you have some changes coming to your selectorized lat low as well?
Yeah, so...
Well, we ignore the awkward transition. Kayvon's not good about walking around machinery, so we just moved the camera. What's going on with your selectorized lat low? Because I know this already exists.
So sometimes when we launch a new product, we get a few iterations to work out. And this one, we've got a couple new things coming. One is a plate-loaded version, just is obviously more economical.
Smart, yeah.
And two, just making this bottom cable function more compatible with bicep curls.
Ah, so the
Oh.
only reason you'd really use this then, right?
Yeah, that's
The
right.
heavy stack for the biceps.
Oh yeah, you guys talk too much. Let's talk about the actual Hydra rack. And I think that's in the other room.
And that's probably the most exciting part, almost, of this video, because you've got a little announcement after that as well, I think.
I got a few, yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So to me, this is the most exciting part of the video because, well, we first saw this rack, the Hydra line. If you haven't seen before, we came for a gym tour of your headquarters opening. This is an exciting rack because it's a true 3-inch by 3-inch rack. And what I mean by that is it puts you in direct competition with the big three. So how as a company are you going to work against such, like, compete against such like big companies? What's your plan?
There's two main points that I have that we're gonna crack into that top three. And number one is gonna come into product innovation and value for these unique products that we're developing, and really trying to set ourselves apart from our competitors and give people what they want. And two is building an organization that people want to work at, that are taken care of with salary and benefits and passionate about what they're doing and able to do it autonomously.
I don't mean to interrupt you here because every corporate man's going to tell you that same thing, but I can vouch we've met a ton of people here and they are incredibly nice and seem to really like what they're doing. So, I mean, I don't work for you, but this is a great group of people you have. Maybe you should give them some raises, but jokes aside, like that makes some sense. Like he's got a good organization going here.
Yeah, and so going off of that, you have sort of the standard attachments that we would expect with a rack like this. What is something new, or why would someone go with you over a competitor?
Well, I'll go over some three.
Yeah, let's leave the exciting ones for the next one.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just handle these right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go over my three that we got right here. This one is the Rocket, and some of you may recognize this from a post in the Garage Gym Reviews Facebook group that I did 2 years ago. And it's kind of like a higher level concept attachment where you can swivel the arm around and kind of do like hundreds of exercises, like use it from the top and from the bottom for curls or whatever. Still fine tuning it. It's a tricky one. And over here we got some snapback roller monos. That was a prototype, and we've already got prototype 2 coming to Calgary any day now, which I think has fixed all the bugs that we found. And this third one here is a rack-mounted leg extension that we're trying to figure out some better features and benefits to jam in there and make it a cooler design.
So it looks pretty good, and we do have some exciting things to talk about. We're gonna forgive you for mentioning a competitor's channel. Maybe we'll just bleep that part out and like put our own name in there. But let's get that one last piece going so we can talk about the kind of big announcement. So we're over here in a different Hydra setup. Ton of options. You've got the sliding lever arms, which I know we've already talked. There's a lot more than this going on. What else you got coming?
The other thing that's coming right away for the Hydra is a really interesting drop-in adjustable bench, which I'm really excited about. We got this kind of high concept Viking press style product called the Berserker Press that is going to be rolling out pretty soon too.
And is there a big announcement that we've got coming along?
How long can you tease one thing?
Yeah, right. We've been working on the Manticore, which is, I guess, kind of the big brother of the Hydra. Similar function and features, but it's going to be cross-hole, 1-inch holes, and a little bit like higher touch finish, UHMW inside all the cups, so it doesn't scratch your rack up. And yeah,
So we're saying a true 3x3, 1-inch holes in hardware.
that's right.
That would open up a lot of possibilities for some people out there.
It would, yeah.
That, if you think about that, is a huge announcement. You have anything else to add?
I could probably go on for a few days, yeah.
Oh.
Well, we don't have
We don't
that
have that
long.
kind of time.
Yeah,
Let's just go.
so bye.